Yeah, a lot of people ask what we do and what we don't do. So we are not service plumbers and we are not drain cleaners. This is a misconception on a lot of people. So we truly just focus on our epoxy pipelining business. And really, here's why. I think I got a good story to tell you about a customer I spoke with last week who is a home flipper locally here in the area. And they had an issue that they thought was a perfect service that we could help provide with. They said that they bought a home, they were in the end of their renovation. The house had been vacant for about 6 years. They hooked everything up, ran the kitchen sink, realized that they had a potential backup. So traditionally, honestly, 6 months, 6 months, a year ago, or anybody else in this business will be excited about that call and that opportunity. Oh, let's get you on the schedule. Let's come out. Let's conduct a camera inspection. Let me tell you all about our pipelining service. I think we can help you. And so I started asking him more questions about what the problem was, but more importantly, telling him what we do. And I realized and uncovered that really all he was doing was looking for a drain cleaner, right? And so I told him we wanted to go out there and camera the line to gather the information that we talked about before, the 4 or 5 things that we do on every project, to gather the information and put together a detailed quote to give him an estimate on lining. And he said, well, hey, I think I want you guys probably just to clean the line first, and then we can explore if lining makes sense. And at that point, I was like, okay, you need a drain cleaner. We do not offer drain cleaning service separate from our lining. It's something that we do not do. We don't see value in it. And so I started talking to him. I'm a little bit familiar with the flipping business and understand the margins and the cost and the budgeting that goes involved in it. And I said, if you're not interested in lining that pipe, I completely understand. But at the end of the day, we're not going to come out and clean your drain for $500 to $1,000 and then potentially pursue lining after that. And that mirrored up with that's what he needed. He simply needed to make sure that pipe was up and flowing in good condition so he could deliver a house that was ready to go on the market and consciously tell the buyers the pipe's in good condition, which makes total sense. And so he didn't plan or budget for that cost. I explained to him what the ballpark range would be for a traditional house like he had, given the dimensions and the feet, and it was completely out of his budget. And so for me, I look at that call and I was like, this was actually the best thing that happened. I turned down a job recommended to a local drain cleaning company that we have a great relationship with. And that was the best thing that could have came out of that call, because what would have happened is we would have went there, we would have wasted our time. And more importantly, we would have wasted the customer's time, because that's not the solution that he was looking for. And so what we're doing a better job at is screening these calls, understanding what their true problem is, where they are in that problem cycle, making sure they understand our solution and really the service that we offer. Again, a lot of people call and say, I think I need my water heater changed, or can you do some other plumbing while you're here lining my pipe? And the real answer to those questions are no, absolutely not. We do not do traditional service plumbing. We do not do drain cleaning. We only do drain cleaning when it's part of our pipelining service. What this allows us to do is be narrowly focused, specific on what we do, be great at it, and continue to get great every single solitary day. We had a great conversation. I said, the way that I think we can help you in the future is, obviously, unfortunately, this drain line was just an oversight, whether it was purposefully or completely unintentional. You didn't think about it, you didn't look into it, and you guys are finishing or wrapping up on the job, and this issue occurred. And he was like, yes, now we're scrambling, trying to come up with a solution. And I said, I would like to give you some advice, if I could, and start thinking about that sewer line at the beginning of the project. So whether it's while you're looking at the house, putting the estimate or the bid on the house, trying to get it, start investigating the sewer line then. Get that line cambered before you buy the home. That can do a couple things. Either allow you a potential negotiating point between you and the seller, or at a minimum, just give you an idea for budgeting across that project. So the home flipping business is all about a balance sheet. How much am I spending? How much can I spend? How much can I sell the house for? And what's that difference is what I'm keeping. And so maybe that would plan or change the budgeting. Maybe the kitchen's not going to get granite in this house, or, coriander or whatever marble they want. Maybe we're going to have to use a cheaper grade paint on some of the bathrooms and allocate some funds more to the sewer line that needs to be fixed. Or at a minimum, maybe that sewer line does simply just need to be drain cleaned. Or maybe that sewer line is in such bad shape that along with the flipping of the house, that line needs to be repaired. But those decisions and those questions and investigation really should happen at the beginning of the project, so the flipper and the investor in that house can budget and plan accordingly. So this way they're not at the end, and when I give them a ballpark of what it is, they're not surprised and they say that we can't do it. That's really the process that they should go through. And the guy said, it makes complete, utter sense, John. He goes, I understand. On my next flip, we will definitely start investigating it and understanding what it is. And then that's when we're going to be able to work with that customer, not at the end of the job. The same things really occur to a business owner, it's just a little bit different perspective. So for the business owner, we've got to look at what I call like an opportunity cost. So how much damage did this issue cause? Has this issue been occurring more frequently? And really on the business end, it's if we go ahead and get it fixed, or we want to explore and fix, how can we eliminate that downtime and destruction to the property, right? And as you know, that's where our list of things that are benefits, that's where we marry up perfect with that commercial owner. Wait, we don't have to dig up your whole entire driveway. We don't have to dig up your floor. We don't have to disrupt business. We can potentially work on off hours. We're offering you a true permanent solution. The business owner is usually going to have a little different perspective of a long-term benefit than potentially that homeowner who's got the issue, or that home flipper who's looking to put it on the market. The business owner is looking at it from a long-term perspective. So that's where we can come and make sure we're asking those qualified questions. Hey, is this the first time that happened? You probably need the drain cleaner. If this is something that's occurred more and this is the pain point button for you, or this is now causing a disruption for your business or your customers or your staff, that's when we come in, inspect the line, offer them a solution, and that's a perfect marriage for us to do business together. On the home flipping side, that's going to be really geared toward that budget that we talked about. So maybe there's a landscape budget in there, maybe there's a driveway budget. If they are at the end of the project and they did unfortunately overlook the line, and they're going to maybe doing a basement renovation. Again, it's the lack of destruction to the property. Really, whatever phase you're a homeowner, flipper, a hospital, a massive commercial facility, us having the ability to go in there with the lack of disruption to the property and not having to destroy things, but more importantly, then put it back in your hands to put it back together. Put a new driveway in, do that new flower bed, that landscaping, new drywall in the basement, whatever it may be, to eliminate those. That's where our value add comes in for all those customers. A lot of times we're becoming a quality over quantity organization and operation. So we'll just use a residential analogy because that's easiest. If somebody's been living in the home for 10 years and they have one backup and they think they got a blockage, they need it cleaned out, that's a perfect call for a drain cleaner. There's many in the area. That's the call that customer should make. We at Royal Flush are not going to come out and clear their drain. Now, at that point, we've built such great relationships with other drain cleaners locally. If they do clean the drain and get it up and flowing and realize there might be some bigger underlying issues, that's when they'll bring us in to potentially scope the line out and offer them a solution. But really, our customer is the person that's lived there for 10 years, and 5 years ago they had an issue, got it cleared, no big deal. 2 years ago they had another issue. Hey, we understand this is now happening every 2 or 3 years, got it cleared, no big deal. Now, this year they had an issue at the beginning of the year. Maybe they had an issue 3 months from now. It's starting to become really, really frequent. This means that there's an underlying issue going on that line that is starting to creep up more and more and more often. That is the perfect marriage and the perfect time for us at Royal Flush to come in and offer them a solution for the job. That's where our technology, our service, and the ability to relieve the pain point that's becoming for the customer. And this is probably becoming extremely frustrating. They're looking for a solution. You've heard me talk about this before. They want to check this off their list of things to do. That's when we can come in and offer them the solution, and we'll marry up with that customer, and it makes sense for us to do business together. And the drain cleaning world in business is fantastic. We did drain cleaning here at Royal Flush for probably about 5 years or so as one of our added services that we did as we're building up and as we built up to exclusively focus on pipelining. We have a great relationship with a couple local drain cleaners who are phenomenal at what they do. The drain cleaning business is expedient, is I need you now, is a quantity-based service. A drain cleaner wants to clean 10 drains opposed to 5 a day. They want to clean 50 drains opposed to 20 a day, right? So it's just quantity. It's how many can we do? How many can we roll over? For us, also, drain cleaning isn't truly solving the problem. We have nothing bad to say about drain cleaning. It's an important part of the process. We drain clean when we do our pipelining. But the fact for us is we want to offer a true permanent solution, and we are not in the business to just do quantities of work. And so we realize that the niche of pipelining, of what we do and the service that we offer and the skill of our guys, it is way more beneficial for us to focus on pipelining. From there, through these relationships that we've had, because we are not in that same world anymore, I'm not trying to take drain cleaning business from you, from the couple of guys that we built up strong relationships. These have been great referral services for us. We've showed them all the technology that we have at Royal Flush and pipelining. We clearly know about their business, and we are passing them leads and information all day, every day. And so there is no need to feel a competitive imbalance or that, hey, in that area. We don't want that customer calling Royal Flush. We want that customer calling us. That doesn't exist, and we're super happy and proud about that. So what that allows us to do is when the drain cleaning company goes out to Susie's house, and they've been out a year ago, 6 months ago, 2 weeks ago, now twice in a week, they can say, ma'am, you've been a great customer to us. We've been here 10 times. You've paid us every time. We've done our service here, but at this point, you now have a bigger underlying issue. You probably need to get it fixed permanently. Let me pass you over to Royal Flush. The guys are great. We know them well. We probably gave them a referral for this job. Have them come in, camera the line, and offer you the solution to fix it, because clearly we can't be coming here every single day to clear out your line. You have a bigger issue. And so that's kind of just the mind shift of where we were from the traditional service plumbing end to gearing into drain cleaning to doing a little bit of pipelining, now just solely focused on pipelining. We want the customer that's had the drain issue, let the drain cleaning company clear it and get it flowing, and then pass it to us to offer them the permanent solution. For us in our business, that's where it works. That's where we're allowed to be more profitable. We can execute on what we're doing every day. And really, our number one goal is to be lining pipe all day, every day. Yeah, so there's a couple of guys. Paul Anderson Drain Cleaning here in Rhode Island, without a doubt, they're our number one guys. Their service, their knowledge, our relationships, the quality of people, they're just absolutely amazing. I would recommend them to anybody. In the Fall River, what we call over the bridge type of market, a company called Bass Ready Rooter, same type of thing. We've built a great relationship up with them. They handle Fall River, New Bedford, Dartmouth, that type of area. Those are really our two main guys. Those are people that we trust, that know about what we do at Royal Flush, that we are confident that when they call us and say, hey, I think there's an opportunity for you to line a pipe, we jump on it right away. And we get drain cleaning calls every single solitary day. So those guys love us equally because we're passing them work, and we're more than glad to do it. One, I think the relationship and the brand name and what our company stands for. So our owner, Jim Watson, who had started our business 30 years ago, he built up a great reputation as a honest, trusting, friendly guy. In any sort of industry, whether it's plumbing, painting, building, construction, there's always going to be natural competition. I and we truly believe that there is no need to be secretive or to hold your competition at an arm's length. One, I do believe in the saying that there's plenty of work for everybody. That without a doubt. Two, I think the cream rises to the top. That even if you have a heavy saturated market for whatever service you're doing, that if you are great at what you do and you offer a great service, your business will rise to the top. So as we transition from traditional plumbing to drain cleaning and then pipelining, it was really an easy conversation because there was a couple of guys that we worked with. If we couldn't get to something, of course you're gonna, this guy's a good guy, he's a buddy of mine. We've done business, we've crossed paths many a times. He was cordial to me, I was cordial to him. We had conversations. Hey, Stevie, I'm down here in Warwick. I can't get to Narragansett today. As a customer called me, they had a big issue. Why don't you give them a call, right? Mm-hmm. So just kind of standard good business practices. But for us transitioning into lining, it really is, hey, I'm no longer a competitor of yours. There is no longer a competitive potential riff or a butting of heads. It's now, we do not do this at all. We are stepping back and moving away from drain cleaning. And so that really opened up the doors of honesty and openness in the relationship of, a quid pro quo in the best way possible. Hey, I have a lot of business and customers that we did this service work with in drain cleaning that we're no longer doing. I would love to pass those to you because, again, we've had a great relationship. In return, since you are doing so many of these drain cleaning calls, we'd love to possibly educate you on what we do and our services so you can really understand pipelining and kind of get into the nitty gritty. So when you guys are on a job and you see one of those issues that's now out of the scope of your everyday drain cleaning, or like we talked about, you've been back to a property 1 month, 2 weeks, now 3 times in a week, there's an underlying issue there. You can confidently say, we're not taking any business from you, and we're not taking any business from you. You've serviced this customer to the best of your ability. You can now simply give them a recommendation. Hey, I got these guys over here that do some really cool stuff that we don't do, and they can probably fix your problem. So it's a perfect marriage. There is no competition. It's just working together. It's me passing you referrals and leads and information, you passing it back to me, and it has worked out absolutely phenomenal.